Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Rachel, your coach with New Leaf Wellness and Nutrition, and I am wishing you, if you're watching this the weekend it drops, a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. If not, I hope you're having a beautiful winter season that just got started. But as we look forward to these rituals and these moments that close out the year. I don't know about you, but I get a little reflective. Of course, I like to do a retreat, at least for a few hours, if not a day, or longer if I could get it, to spend some time reflecting on the year that's been and the year to come. But it has me in mind of thinking about the things that we love and the things that were good about the year and what we want to hold on to and keep moving forward into 2023, and also the things that were not so great that we would like to leave behind. And so as we ponder what we want to bring into the next year, the vibe, the stuff, the goodness, one of the things that I think can help us think through those ways that we can bring that goodness into the new year and create a beautiful new year for ourselves is to think about a lot of people like to choose a word for the year. So maybe you can reflect on, what am I bringing into this year and what do I hope this year is like? What's a word that encapsulates what I want for the coming year? Or maybe a mantra. And that's where I'm leaning today, because the one thing that I often think about as I talk about the wellness and the spirituality and healing ourselves and getting away from that imposed diet culture, all of those things, they're very self-reflective, they're very self-focused. And I use the word self-focused because I think it is very important for us to take a look at ourselves, to heal what needs to be healed for ourselves. And that could look selfish, or it could feel selfish, particularly if you come from particular backgrounds, especially if you come from particular backgrounds where any kind of looking at yourself, and except for finding flaws, is kind of frowned upon. It's that mentality that self-care is selfish, or that to focus so much time on yourself is somehow egotistical, or wrong. And I really want to, I always want to boot that, because for me, unless you are doing it wrong, if you are looking at yourself, if you are healing yourself, you are bringing healing into this world. I mean, sometimes it's as simple as, you got to put on your own oxygen mask so that you can help other people with theirs. That's a part of it. But healing begets healing. The old saying, hurt people hurt people. The opposite is also true. Healed people heal people. When we put that energy out in the world, when we are putting all of the good things that we have learned and all of the self-compassion and the self-love, when we do that, we are becoming less judgmental. We are becoming more open. We are becoming more loving. As we do that with ourselves, it radiates out. And, you've all met and seen the people who, like they study religion, or they're the most spiritual, or they're seeking enlightenment, or they think they're enlightened, and it does nothing. It doesn't permeate out into the world. It's like stuck within themselves. Those people are still stuck in performance. They are still doing something. They are not, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, but if your pursuit of spiritual health, of mindset, mind health, of physical health, if those things are not putting more goodness out in the world, then there's something stuck there, because goodness begets goodness. And so, coming back around to our mantra that I was going to mention, I've been thinking a lot about when I was young. I went to this, with my mother. I went to this tiny little church, and in the Christian tradition, and we would end every service by holding hands and singing the beautiful song, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." And the line there is, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." That we can't want so much for the world to change if we are not willing to be peacemakers, if we are not willing to be healers, if we are not the people who stop generational trauma and heal it. When we are those people, we are making peace on earth. And so I'm thinking about that and thinking that's a pretty good mantra for 2023 for myself. And I just encourage you to find something that really resonates with you. All of that to say, something that reminds you of the power and beauty of making those changes for yourself, of doing the work for yourself, of healing what needs to be healed, of letting go of all of the things that are imposed upon us by our patriarchal capitalist culture here in the West. Those things, they're not us. But we have marched to that tune for so long, we forget that's not us. And when we break that cycle and we say, I do not need to look the way that someone else thinks I should look. I do not need to eat or think or pray or whatever the way someone else thinks I should. When we break those cycles, we are bringing healing and peace into the world. And so I want you to know, one, what matters is that you are doing this work. It's beautiful. And when you do it, it creates more beauty. It creates more goodness in the world. And I just want you to lean into that in the coming year. Lean into your healing. Lean into becoming the most you can be, because that brings healing to all of us. And that is wonderful. All right. I hope that you have a beautiful holiday. I will see you soon, and I will just be holding so many good thoughts for all of us for more goodness in the coming year. All right, come find me and chat with me. I'd love to hear from you. Email me, come find me on social media at New Leaf Wellness and Nutrition. Of course, I'll leave a link for you to get on the mailing list if you want to know when stuff is happening. That's the place that I usually send it out first, is to my email list. So, and usually there's tips and ideas as well as news. So get on that if you want to know what's coming up in the new year. And until we meet again, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.